Good morning. Morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Tuesday, April the 9th. We are here to look at the new releases that are being set into the wild, and on Tuesdays we look at mysteries and thrillers. Hope you're having a good day. Hope your Monday was okay. If you were able to look at the eclipse yesterday, we were out of its path here in Montana for the most part, so I watched it on YouTube and I saw it 5 different times. Yay, YouTube. Good morning, Mary. Happy Tuesday. Well, we survived the eclipse. It was quite a show. Only 80% here in Virginia, but still so very impressive. Oh, cool. Yeah, we were hardly a blip on it, so I did watch it on YouTube. Good morning, Kim. Um, and so I was able to watch the whole thing like in Mazatlan, and then the next one over, and then Dallas, and then Arkansas. So I got to see it multiple times, which is amazing. Good morning, Elena. How are you doing? Are you feeling better? So here we are back to normal. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. They'll go for 2.5 hours. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. Mary says, good morning to everybody. And Elena says, oh, you're still sick. Oh, that's not fun. Are you taking care of yourself? That is no fun. Or what passes for normal. True. Very true. Your version of normal. All right, let's jump into this. These are mysteries and thrillers, best of my ability I can find, that are being released this week. We'll work from this way up towards the center. A Better World by Sarah Langan. Langan? You're taking your cough medicine. Is it like a Robitussin DM kind of thing? Is it mostly a cough? Sorry to hear that, Elena. Hope you feel better quickly. Good morning, Deborah. Away ball game tonight, so I should be here. Awesome. Yes, okay. Steaming also helps, breathing in steam. Let's pass along how to take care of you. A Better World, a cunning outside-the-box satirical thriller about a family's odyssey into an exclusive enclave for the wealthy that might not be as ideal as it seems. You'll be safe here. That's what the tour guide tells the Farmer Bowens. See, it's hyphenated. You're already doomed. When they visit Plymouth Valley, a walled-off company town with clean air, pantries that never go empty, and blue ribbon schools. On a very trial basis, the company offers to hire Linda Farmer's husband, Russell, a numbers genius, and relocate her whole family to his bucolic paradise for the 0.0001%. Though Linda will have to sacrifice her medical career back home, the family jumps at the opportunity. They'd be crazy not to take it. With the outside world falling apart, this might be the Farmer Bowens' last chance. But fitting in takes work. The pampered locals distrust outsiders, snubbing Linda, Russell, and their teen twins. And the residents fervently adhere to a group of customs and beliefs called Hollow. But what exactly is Hollow? It's Linda who brokers acceptance by volunteering her medical skills to the most influential people in town through their pet charity, Act Hollow. In the months afterward, everything seems fine. Sure, Russell starts hyperventilating through a paper bag in the middle of the night, and the kids have become secretive, but living in Plymouth Valley is worth sacrificing their family's closeness, isn't it? At least they'll survive. The trouble is, the locals never say what they think. They seem scared, and Hollow's ominous culminating event, the Plymouth Valley Winter Festival, is coming. Linda is warned by her husband and her powerful new friends to stop asking questions. But the more she learns, the more frightened she becomes. Should the Farmer Bowens be fighting to stay or fighting to get out? I'd say get out. Get out! Finished your book yesterday. Yay! Congratulations! look at that. That's a little proactive, but we got it. Kim, my boy is still playing every day with the shoulder. I would think they should have results of the MRI by now. Yeah, he's a tough one. Death in the Details by Katie Tietjen. Okay, I'm saying that very badly. I apologize. Interesting cover. Inspired by the real life mother of forensic science, Frances Glessner Lee, and featuring a whip smart, intrepid sleuth in post World War II Vermont, this debut historical mystery will blah blah blah. Maple Bishop is ready to put World War II and the grief of losing her husband Bill behind her. But when she discovers that Bill left her penniless, Maple realizes she could lose her Vermont home next and sets out to make money the only way she knows how, by selling her intricately carved doll houses. Business is off to a good start until Maple discovers her first customer dead, his body hanging precariously in his own barn. Something about the supposed suicide rubs Maple the wrong way, but the local authorities brush off her concerns, determined to help them see what's big and what's small. Maple turns to what she knows best, painstakingly recreating the gruesome scene in miniature, death in a nutshell. With the help of a rookie officer named Kenny, Maple uses her macabre miniature to dig into the dark undercurrents of her sleepy town where everyone seems to have a secret and a grudge. But when her nosy neighbor goes missing and she herself becomes a suspect, excuse me, it'll be up to Maple to find the devil in the details and put him behind bars. You know I love historical, but I don't really like them set in the US, and that's just me. That sounds very interesting, but I will probably not read it at this time. I'm not saying never. The Gathering by C.J. Tudor. A detective investigating a grisly crime in rural Alaska finds herself caught up in the dark secrets and superstitions of a small town. Excuse me. In a small Alaska town, a boy is found with his throat ripped out and all the blood drained from his body. The inhabitants of Dead Heart haven't seen a killing like this in 25 years. But they have seen it. But they know who's responsible, a member of the colony, an ostracized community of vampires. I'm out. Living in an old mine settlement deep in the woods. Detective Barbara Atkins, a specialist in vampire killings, is called in to officially determine if this is a colony killing and authorize a cull. Old suspicions die hard in a town like Dead Heart, but Barbara isn't so sure. Determined to find the truth, she enlists the help of a former Dead Heart sheriff, Jensen Tucker, whose investigation into the previous murder almost cost him his life. Since then, Tucker has become a recluse, but he knows the colony better than almost anyone. As the pair delve into the town's history, they uncover secrets darker than they could have imagined, etc., etc. I'm out. Only another week or two of games. Oh, really? Is it just spring? Daughter of Mine by Megan Miranda. When Hazel Sharp, daughter of Mirror Lake's longtime local detective, unexpectedly inherits her childhood home, she's warily drawn back to the town and people she left behind almost a decade earlier. But Hazel's not the only relic of the past to return. A drought has descended on the region, and as the water level in the lake drops, long hidden secrets begin to emerge, including evidence that may help finally explain the mystery of her mother's disappearance. Very reminiscent of the drowned town trend that was in vogue, what, about 20 years ago? Um, Peter Robinson did one and Val McDermott did one, and they were published at the same time. Both very, very good because they're very, very good authors. The Widow Spy by Megan Campisi. Based on the astonishing true story of the first female Pinkerton detective, whose next assignment could end the Civil War. Kate Warren is many things: the country's first female detective, a Pinkerton agent, and a Union spy. It's August 1861, and her latest assignment could finally end the bloody war and bring the fractured United States together again. All she has to do is win the trust of her captive, Confederate spy and socialite Rose Greenhow. But with Rose well aware of Kate's working class background and belief in abolitionism, it seems an impossible task. Worst, Kate has secrets that make her vulnerable, such as her forbidden love affair with a colleague. With time running out, Kate faces not only the moral and political divides between herself and Rose, but also the ones she made in her own heart and life. Can she make the difficult decision over which divides are worth crossing? Or will she fail the most important assignment of her career in this spellbinding and blah blah blah? Again, love historicals, not US. Yes, and he usually plays travel ball, but never play any games here. Oh, I know a lady who's, I think it's her great grandson, who got involved in travel ball. Toxic Prey, a John Sanford, 34th. Good for him in the Lucas Davenport series. Lucas Davenport and his daughter Letty team up to track down a dangerous scientist whose latest project could endanger the entire world. Gaia is dying. That, at least, is what Dr. Lionel Scott believes. A renowned expert in tropical and infectious diseases, Scott has witnessed the devastating impact of illness and turmoil at critical scale. Society as it exists is untenable, and the direct link to Earth's death spiral, population levels are out of control, and people have allowed disarray and disorder to run rampant. While most are concerned about deadly disease, Scott knows that it is truly humanity itself that will destroy Gaia. It's only by removing the threat that the planet can continue to prosper, and luckily, Scott is just the right man for the job. When Scott then disappears without a trace, Letty Davenport is tasked with tracking down any and all leads. Scott's connections to sensitive research into virus and pathogen spread has multiple national and international organizations on high alert, and his shockingly high clearance levels at various institutions, including the Los Alamos National Laboratory, make him the last person they'd like to go missing. As the web around Scott becomes more tangled, Letty calls in her father, Lucas, help her lead a group of specialists to find Scott as soon as possible. But as Letty and Lucas begin to uncover startling and disturbing connections between Scott and Gaia conspiracists, their worst fears are confirmed, and it quickly becomes a race to find him before the virus he created becomes the perfect weapon. Timely topic, but I hope it doesn't tip over into activism. Sanford is a big name. Yes, he is. That's where he was seen by at Atlanta Brave Scout. Oh my, cool, cool. A Killing on the Hill by Robert Dugoni, another name. The Great Depression, high-level corruption, and a murder that's about to become Seattle's hottest mystery. It's the kind of story that can make a reporter's career if he lives to write about it. Seattle, 1933. The city is in the grips of the Great Depression, Prohibition, and vice. Cutting his teeth on a small-time beat, hungry and ambitious young reporter William Schumacher gets a tip that could change his career. There's been a murder at a social club on Profanity Hill, an underworld magnet for vice crimes only a privileged few can afford. The story is going to be front page news, and Shu is the first reporter on the scene. The victim, Frankie Ray, is a former prize fighter. His accused killer, club owner and mobster George Miller, who claims he pulled the trigger in self-defense. Soon the whole town's talking, and Shu's first homicide is fast becoming the trial of the century. The more Shu digs, the more he's convinced nothing is as it seems, not with a tangle of conflicting stories, an unlikely motive, and witnesses like Ray's girlfriend, a glamour girl whose pretty lips are sealed for now. In a city steeped in Old West debauchery, Shu's following every lead in a very dangerous place, one that could bring him glory and fame or end his life. And a lot of historicals this week, but none that I'm interested in. Oh, that's very exciting, Kim. We'll keep my fingers crossed for him. Absolutely. And his shoulder. Cast a Cold Eye by Robbie Morrison, second in the Jimmy Dreghorn series. In 1930s Glasgow, partners Jimmy Dreghorn and Archie McDade face a danger that threatens to set their city aflame. Glasgow, 1933. Murder is nothing new in the Depression-era city, especially to war veterans Inspector Jimmy Dreghorn and his partner Bonnie Archie McDade, but the dead man found in a narrow boat on the Forth and Clyde Canal, executed with a single shot to the back of the head, is no ordinary killing. Violence usually erupts in the heat of the moment. The razor gangs that stalk the streets settle scores with knives and fists. The firearm suggests something more sinister, especially when the killer strikes again. Meanwhile, other forces are stirring within the city. A suspected IRA cell is at large, embedded within the criminal gangs and attracting the ruthless attention of special branch agents from London. With political and sectarian tensions rising and the body count mounting, Dreghorn and McDade pursue an investigation into the dark heart of humanity, where one man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist, and noble ideals are swept away by bloody vengeance. An Enchanting Case of Spirits by Melissa Holtz. When a 40th birthday celebration leads to a ghostly visitor, four friends find themselves navigating surprising mysteries and spiritual hijinks. Alyssa Mann isn't adventurous, not since her husband died and she found herself the single mom of a teenage daughter, but there's no way to avoid celebrating the big 4-0. So when her best friends drag her out for drinks and a tarot reading, she throws caution to the wind and decides to see what the spirits have to say. It's all fun and games until she wakes up the next morning with a wicked hangover and a ghost perched on the edge of her bed. Sheer panic sends her running to get help from Nick West, the very attractive detective who lives next door. When he finds no one inside, Alyssa has to accept that she really did see a ghost. As the dearly departed keep appearing, Alyssa and her friends do their best to learn how to control her newfound power. Trading insults with ghosts, tracking down family heirlooms, and getting closer to the skeptical but helpful Nick is more fun than Alyssa imagined, but when looking into one ghost's past reveals unexpected and unwelcome facts about Alyssa's late husband's death, she discovers she just may be in over her head. Stag, a novel by Dane Barr. For fans of True Detective and Ozark. To stop a serial killer terrorizing the hills of rural Washington state, retired Sheriff Amos Fielding must re-enter a world he's tried desperately to escape. It's 1989, and Amos Fielding, one-time sheriff of Oscar, Iowa, is in his early 70s and grieving the recent loss of his wife, Sarah. He packs up his few belongings and heads to a ranch in the far northwest corner of Washington state. The farther he can get from Oscar and his years there as sheriff, the better. Eager to escape painful memories, Fielding throws himself into the daily chores of a gentleman rancher. But there is evil afoot, as dark as any he faced in Oscar. A cold-blooded, amoral psychopath has been stalking troubled young women in the surrounding woods, staging elaborate scenes of his crimes. The local chief of police has turned a blind eye to the cases. In fact, the only law enforcement agents generally concerned about justice are Dee Beatty, a recovering alcoholic and former detective turned wildlife officer, and Philip Wilson, an overly ambitious and weirdly obsessed young Seattle FBI agent. It is Beatty and Fielding's growing friendship that provides the lure that will pull Fielding back into the world he so desperately wants to escape, as the three team up to hunt a killer and stop the predator from finding new prey. Actually, kind of interesting. Maybe. That has a maybe on it. Dave's, that has always been his dream. Not a fan of ghosts and paranormal. Only if they look like Jensen Ackles. Cold to the Touch, a thriller by Kelly Hakoda. A women are being kidnapped and murdered in the dead of an Alaskan winter. When the body of a barista is found in the once pristine Alaskan snow, Anchorage homicide detective de Haviland Beans is gutted to recognize the young woman Jolene. He'd bought coffee from her every morning and knew her as a bright college student working her way through school. Devastated by the murder and by the life cut short, Beans vows to find the killer. Since scavengers damage the body, obtaining any usable evidence is impossible, even with the assistance of wildlife expert Raisa Ingalls, Beans's ex. When the body of another woman is found, a serial killer is suspected and the FBI joins the hunt. After a third body turns up, Beans is desperate to find the killer, especially when another woman goes missing. With the murderer moving so quickly, Beans and his team are determined to stop the spree and catch the killer before it's too late. And that's all I have up. Woo! We're just before the bell is gonna ring. Sure to hit the like button. It does. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. We need to grow. Bring more people. This is morning news that is nice to hear. I appreciate that, Kim, very much. Mary, thank you very much. Sorry about that. So, yes, we do have sprints tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I hope to see you guys. I was just gonna share real quickly since we have a moment what I am reading. I'm still in a cop mood, so I am reading this Kindle Unlimited series I found. This is the second book of 30, and they're not just 100 pages books by Blake Banner. And his cop in New York does cold cases. I love cold cases, so I've been enjoying that. Rolling fast this morning. Thanks as always. You're welcome. Have a great day, everybody. Indeed. All right. Have a good Tuesday. Read good books. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm. Be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.